Hi guys. So I just had to share something with you really fast. Um, by the way, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while. Life has been chaos and crazy, but things are good and I'm slowly settling into my place, and that is a story for another day. But I am doing my third exchange. It's about 2:30ish in the afternoon, and I have trained my dogs, or Smokey now, to not bark, right? He'll hear other dogs barking, he'll hear people chattering outside, and he doesn't care. Just because I didn't want him to be a nuisance, because nobody wants that neighbor, right? Well, so I'm sitting here, and the way that this place is set up, my bedroom window sees the front door, which is very different from last time. And so this lady walks up to my door and knocks, and I looked up and I'm like, oh my gosh, why is somebody here? So she is standing there and she's looking at her phone, and I have a delivery from Walmart coming in. When I move, or every so often, I will throw out my broom and whatever I'm using to mop with, and I will order new ones because I think that they get filthy over time, and I just don't want to be spreading those germs everywhere. And so I'm waiting impatiently for that order to come. And my bedroom window, like I said, is close by, and so I just kind of hollered, like, can I help you? And she says, yeah, I need you to open your door. And I'm like, I'm not opening my door because I'm doing my dialysis right now, and I'm not even allowed to get up. And she said, well, I need to see your ID because I have your order. And I was like, my order? I said, well, I've never heard of that before. And she's like, well, I just need to see your ID. And are you going to reschedule for me to come back? Because this is a huge inconvenience, which I thought was really rude. Because I'm like, hold up. I just told you I'm on dialysis. And then I decided to let Grace come in because I'm like, a lot of people don't understand what dialysis is, even in this day and age. A lot of times they think, of course, that you're going to a clinic, so they don't understand why you're at home doing this. And then sometimes people will say, like, oh, that's awesome. And it's like, okay, you clearly don't understand what dialysis is, but that's okay. So I was like, well, I'm literally hooked up to my machine, and I'm not allowed to get up, and I'm not allowed to answer the door, and I can't touch anything. And she's like, well, this is a real inconvenience for me, but I could see why you're not able to come to the door, but I have to see your ID. And I was like, for a broom? And she's like, oh, she's like, wait a second. I have twisted tea, which is an alcohol. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure that's like an alcohol. She's like, I'm from Instacart. And I said, I didn't order anything from Instacart. So I don't know. And she's like, well, this doesn't even give a building number. She's like, but it says 229. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, have my kids gifted me something? I would not be surprised. But at the same time, I'm like, no, not twisted tea. Like, if she was standing at the door with a Liquor 43, which, by the way, if you haven't tried it, delicious. If you like sweet liquor, delicious. Or like Jack Daniels or honey or Crown, that would have been like, oh, maybe my kids have gifted me something. But twisted tea? No. Nonetheless, I said, I'm so sorry, but I think you're at the wrong address. I said, I don't know. I don't know who ordered that. I didn't order that. That's what I know. I know I didn't, and I don't believe anybody else has ordered it for me. I am confused because I ordered something from Walmart that's to be shipped today, which is a broom. And that's who I thought you were. So I apologize. And she was just like, oh my gosh. She's like, I must be at the wrong address, but there's no building number. And I was like, I don't know, maybe asking the office, but I don't think anybody else has this apartment number, regardless of building number, which we don't have building numbers. We have building letters. So I remember only because my last name starts with a D. And so that's what building we're in now. Where when we lived on the corner, I still don't know what building that was. In fact, I always just told people we were at 266 on the corner and they would find me immediately. So nonetheless, how crazy is that? I did have a really good visit at DeVita this morning. I went and I was dead tired. Last night I danced a whole lot. I was very active. I have been very, very, very exhaustingly active the last 2 weeks. Mostly these days because I'm trying to figure out where to put everything. Even though this place is bigger, I don't want to be cluttery and I don't want to just use space because it's there. And Charlie is basically walking, which means that he toddles after me everywhere I go and opens my cupboards. And so I realized that I need to have Charlie drawers for him to explore in. And my daughter, shout out to her for suggesting that, because there are places where he definitely likes to go into and look around. And I did realize that the Ziploc, Glad bags, snack bags, all those things have to go in a drawer higher because he will pull those sandwich bags out. And then once they're out, for some reason, I feel like they're dirty, so I just throw them away. So that's so wasteful. But yeah, so I've been methodically thinking of how to put things. And because there's not a lot on the walls and a lot of decorations out and decor, I kind of like it, which is weird because I've always been known as being eclectic. But shout out to Ross because I went there to get things like bath mats and an entry rug. I'm trying to do this thing where we're leaving our shoes at the door. We just try to keep everything as clean, as organized as possible. And then slowly over time becoming a bit more minimalistic because I think with the combination of everything, it just got out of control. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Because I was so tired the last couple of days, I've been going and going and going because, again, we live on the second floor. So I'm going up the stairs, downstairs, up the stairs, downstairs, taking Smokey out for his walks. Now I don't have a backyard for him to go into to kind of give him a break from the apartment because my son has moved downstairs and just around the corner from my apartment. So we literally live in the same complex, which is great. But I did have to set a boundary with like, oh, no. You can't just drop off Charlie whenever you want to because I have things I have to do. My biggest thing is just getting everything put away. And then I'll be able to feel a little bit more relaxed. But for now, I'm feeling more and more relaxed, I would have to say. Yeah. So this morning, I was dead tired, went to DeVita, and there was a guy nurse there. Beth was not in. I didn't see Amber. And I guess he's a traveling PD dialysis nurse. And so he goes to various places. And it was really cool to talk to him because he sees a lot of different places in Arizona. And so we were talking about that, like just, traveling to these little different towns. And yeah, so when I went to DeVita this morning, I wasn't quite sure what to expect because I didn't remember what was going on. And also I had, this was like a rescheduled appointment that DeVita needed to do. And so it was great. We talked about how there's very few men nurses in the medical field. even though the numbers are climbing, the majority is always women. And so we were talking about that. He was just so super cool and chill, and really gave high praises for the DeVita Center, the West Campus one, because he was like, it's so organized. And just the little details that Beth has for us as patients, and for, for the staff as well. And so I was like, yeah, I said, I really like it at this center. And I met Beth, or she was my first nurse once I started dialysis. And so I just felt like when she moved over, I wanted to go with her. And so I said, if anything, I'm very loyal. So if I don't like you, I'll just tell you. But I just really appreciated it. It was just kind of cool to have a fresh face and a fresh person. But I did miss Beth, because, she has such a great way of the things that she does. So, but my lab works, he looked at my lab works and he's like, wow, you're really good. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really good. In fact, last week I saw Dr. Olivier for about 5 minutes. And then it's super great because my next appointment with Dr. Olivier will be on the phone. Yay! You can't even imagine. Last time, it took me 45 minutes to get all the way across town. And that's not the point. The point was, I drive through the U of A campus, and they were having construction. And so because of that, it took me a whole 45 minutes to get there. And then my appointment's usually 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. I'm out. And so it's just kind of like a lot to have to do that on a short visit that doesn't require a lot of action. But I do it, but it is nice to know that my next one will be over the phone. And I will greatly appreciate that. So anyways, that's about it for now. I will give you a tour of the place the next coming days once things are a little bit more settled. The big plus is that Ben has his own room and he's able to have his own space. So good for Ben. He's 15. He needs it. He's almost 16 in like a week. Yeah, crazy. Crazy, the little baby's grown up. And then we have Charlie. So, all right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.